Bit late. They're going to get half, aren't they, today? Thank you. Well, I'm not going back to the beginning. Yeah, so for most people, they've got about 35 hours, haven't they? And that little exercise of asking them to write down, do you know what? It exposes people's lifestyles and how they are. And what I would say to you, let's say, for example, they tell you they've got 30 hours left, and you say to them, right, in the space of about an hour, you can make quite a lot of calls, hit the phone running, and make some appointments. And then you explain how they're going to do it. And they're going to have access to your diary. So they know your availability. And everyone knows how my diary works. Okay. So they get access to my diary. And then I say to them, you want to fill my diary up as much as you want. And it's first come, first served. All right. Because I'm looking after quite a lot of people. And then they're going to think, well, how am I going to do this? Now, I'm going to say this. Most people go into panic mode at this point. Absolute panic. Oh my God, I've got to pick up the phone. You've got to explain why. I'm sorry, but texting, emailing, WhatsApping, Instagramming, whatever it may be, Facebook messaging, all of that is the written word which can be misconstrued, it's ambiguous, and it is not conversation because you send a message and you hope it's going to be responded to, and it may never. All right. But if somebody hears your actual voice, they hear your passion, your excitement, your intonation. And it's that that works. Now, I try when I make calls to bring humor all the time into my conversation because I know humor breaks barriers down. And when people hear you smile, there's a funny thing goes on, they smile too. And it helps. It really helps. So, actually, the part about getting them going, I'm now going to say to you, is this: it's actually working out how and what they're going to say. Because there are some basic scripts out there, I promise you. I mean, I've got books of them over the years, there's loads of them. And most of them, I think, are wooden. You know what I mean by wooden, don't you? They don't really fit the bill. They don't fit the personality. So somehow we've got to help them to fit their personality. So one I produced earlier, I've got here, some of the very basic ones. If it was immediate family, you could say to them, you could say, hi, Mum. Listen, I just want to run a great idea past you. Come on, put the kettle on. I'm on my way round. That would be feasible if you had a good relationship with your mum, wouldn't it? You know, you wouldn't ring up mum and say, hi, Mum, I've just started a new business and I need some practice. Oh my God, I can actually hear that this stuff would be really boring, right? But immediate family, that's the kind of thing you do. And you do it with passion and excitement. Close friends. Hi, mate, I need a favor. Cool. Do you know what? I need a bit of support, actually. Have you got 10 minutes later today? If I bring my friend who's helping me to get going, it's going to be practice for me. And do you know what? There could be some great benefits in it for you as well. All right. Now, of course, the thing is, people do ask what's it all about, don't they? Of course they do. Tell you what, only a numbskull wouldn't ask what's it all about. And this is the bit where I think people get their proverbial knickers in a twist. And the best answer I found is to say, oh, wow. Do you know, it's a fantastic discount club where every day you spend money, you get money back. How would you like money back on all your everyday spending? What a great answer. Not many people would say no. Now, I'm also going to share something which has been going around for a very long time, and this is what works. And we talk about your why. People, just like we work on feelings, people react on feelings and they work on feelings. So if you were ringing some people that you know and you know them fairly well, this is what we teach them to do. Remember, this is a new partner. They're straight out the starting block. They haven't been down and done a 20K giveaway. They're not doing neighbour letters. They're ringing those friends and family and people like that. So what we've got to do is somehow incorporate their why. So let's share this one. So, I've been wanting an income that would allow me to still be able to look after the kids instead of sending them off to nursery, which costs an absolute fortune. And to be honest, we can't really afford that. Well, I just got involved in something new. And you're one of the first people I thought of because we share the same values. Are you free tomorrow morning or later in the afternoon or maybe the evening? Because tomorrow's quite a free day for me. Now, did you hear? It was giving their why. Now, what is coming back from these people doing all these QD stars is people want to help people to help them more for what it will do for them rather than that it will save them money or about the actual task. They'll do it for the reason why. Now, please, guys, if you're bringing people in and you're not doing this, this might be why they're not getting going. All right, it's massive. See, the lady said she wanted something that was flexible. So when I was with her, I said, right, we've got to work this out. And every single one has to be individual to that person. Now, they will turn around and say, what's it all about? You can say, oh my God, you get money back on everyday spending. Let me come and show you. Or you could say, well, you get money back on everyday spending, which actually, weirdly, it's incredible. It reduces your bills. Oh my God, and you get better customer service. Must come and show you. Come on, I've got to get some appointments in, and you're one of the kindly people I thought of. It's that passion that will do it. It's that camaraderie, that joy. That's what will get the appointment, not necessarily the words, but the words are important. Can I just get a thumbs up if all what I've just said there makes sense? Because that's got to be done 7, 8, 9 times over. Now, most of the recruiting and most of the sponsoring is done through this medium of Zoom and stuff like that because people are all over the country. But do you know what? This is also possible because you could get that person to there and then still be on the Zoom and you can say, I tell you what, I'll hang here a minute. I'm going to drink my cup of tea. Please go off. Go and make a couple of calls immediately. Or if they don't feel embarrassed, they could make those calls now in front of you. They could do it because then you could get an idea if they're doing it right and you could then kind of help them hone it properly. Yeah. But I absolutely know for sure if this bit is not spent time on, it won't happen. What's the other part that's going to get them going? Oh my God, they've got to have a big list. They've got to have lots of names. I'm sorry, if they can't even get 10 names down somewhere, they're going to struggle. And am I allowed to be controversial? Of course I am, because it's Lisa Ware. I'm going to be honest with all of you. If they haven't got a circle of life that involves homeowners, this is going to be difficult. And I'll tell you why. Because I've written it down here, one of the biggest demotivators is you start doing supported appointments with their friends that are tenants, and then you tell them afterwards, well, I'm ever so sorry, but that's earned you nothing. That hasn't earned you a bean until the residual income kicks in. Can I promise you, you will see somebody stop just like that. So you've got to help them realise how they're going to reach out to homeowners. Now, if they're youngsters, and there's a lot of people bringing in students, hey, they don't own homes. They've got to tap into their parents' friends' homes, that peer circle that's one up from them. They've got to do stuff like that. This is the stuff that matters. This is why people will get going. Okay. And the time, oh, do you know, I get so angry when I see on that partner portal 30 minutes to do a fast start plan. What a joke. Honestly, you've got to spend a bit of time with somebody. You've got to give up your time. And this will be the difference between I'd say success or not. Because I've been speaking to people like, she's my mate, Jen Matchell. She was the first one that Wes interviewed on the QD Star Big Night In. That, and do you know what? When I've chatted to her, she said, "Oh God, yeah, I spend time really helping them with how to make that list grow, how to actually make those appointments." And she doesn't do what we call the cloak and dagger big secret, not telling them. She actually says it's about saving money on your bills at home, because actually, I think then that makes them feel a bit better too, that it's being upfront, transparent. Yeah. So I have kind of whizzed through this at breakneck speed. There's so many other factors, but what I would say to you is it's about sitting, growing their list, using that memory jogger to really help them. Spend the time. If you spend half an hour building their list, that's time well spent. Now help them make those calls, get that script absolutely right. Sit there together, hone it, make it so it's perfect. So they feel they could happily call, phone, and fill your diaries up. If they start making excuses about X, Y, Z, whatever it may be, I'm sorry, you haven't got an inspired person. By the way, we can't motivate people. We all know this. We've got to help them find their inspiration. And their inspiration will be the things that make them feel good and the things they're driving towards. So if you could all unmute yourselves, anybody got any questions that you want to ask about that subject? Because this is really the key to building a big business, because you can't do it on your own. You can be a trader, a retailer, and just get your own customers, and that's fine, but you'll always be doing it. All right. Whereas this is about building a team, helping other people to reach financial stability for themselves. And in turn, that will help you more. And that, what I've just gone through, is the number one thing more than anything. Anyone got a question? Or have I dumbfounded you all?
I'm probably being a bit pernickety here, but I never like talking about a discount club. I think it sounds cheap. Is that just me? Perhaps it is. I mean, you don't have to say that, obviously. You don't have to go there.
But Karina, you really don't have to say that. I must admit, do I say it? I do say it sometimes, but I usually just say, "Oh, I love the fact that I get money back from my everyday spending."
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
And then I usually add, Karina, I get money back from everyday spending. And do you know what it's done? It's meant I've never paid for my mobile and my broadband. How cool is that?
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good way around, Lisa. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other thing? Yes, Ian.
I've just, the last few hours I've been sitting down looking at my list on the planner. I've got 13 people from previous 20k events that have shown an interest in doing both the business, earning an income and taking the services. I've got another 13 that are just interested in taking the services. What's the best thing for me to do to approach them
Okay.
again?
Are they old? These are they old or are they recent?
More than a few months old. Yeah, I'm going back to them.
Doesn't matter. No, that's no. Do you know what? I don't really kind of get rid of mine until I get a definitive sort of no. Yeah. But I'd be ringing him up and just saying, we met. I tell you the way to get there. Right. The way to get them to call you back if you leave a message, or to get their interest immediately, and this is nothing to do with what we were doing, but I've been doing it. I just say to them, yeah, I rang this lady, her name was Kay. I said, hello, Kay. I said, you met my husband, I said, at the Romsey show, and you entered a draw to win £20,000 with Utility Warehouse. Have you got any recollection of that? And she said, oh, yes, I have. I said, great. I said, you actually filled in the form yourself and you ticked that you were interested in hearing about reducing your bills. I said, are you still smart enough? And are you still thinking that that's a good way to look at things? And she went, yes, I am. Now, that's because I threw in the word, are you still smart enough? Because if she says no, she's admitting she's not very smart. All right. So you've got to use some language that kind of coaxes them along a bit. But
Okay.
it's get that bit in, the bit that they'll remember. Now, the funny thing is, she did say to me, oh my gosh, she said, I thought you were going to tell me I'd won the £20,000. And I said, no, the draw hasn't happened yet. I said, Kay, believe me, I want you to win, because if you win, I win. And then I said to her, because it's conversation, I just said, oh, Kay, do you know, we do have a real interest that we'd love you to win. I said, in my instance, I said, I've just blown 120 grand on an extension. And I said, any money I can recoup back for free would be wonderful. And she roared with laughter. So what it's doing is bringing humor in. And you've got to bring some humor into this when you're phoning people. Okay. But guys, what I've just covered, and I did it on purpose because Wes has repeated about the QD stars. He's put it on endless repeat. In fact, there's loads going on up to about 10:30 tonight. Amazing. And if you have not watched this, I mean, I've watched it twice now. Well, I watched it, and then the second time was this morning on my hour walk. I stuck my headphones in, stuck my phone in my pocket, and I listened to it again because what I was doing was listening out for key things. And I do believe that some of us, and I'm going to say that's me as well, perhaps has been a bit too stilted, and we need to be more energetic, and we need to just forget the formalities, just get them making those calls as fast as possible. Because the quicker they get appointments in the bag, the quicker you do the appointments and they start earning some money, I know it has a fantastic effect because I've had some. There was one particular lady that this was last year. I met her at the Dorset County show and saved her money. She joined as a partner, and then blow me, she gave me so many excuses, which she actually says now on reflection she wished it hadn't. But she never got going till 2 weeks later. What a waste! What an absolute waste! And she said, what happened in the final sort of the 45 days, we got 5 fantastic ones in the bag. And she earned a nice lot of money. And it was more, she was after £1,000 and she ended up earning, I think it was 1750. And she was like over the moon and enthused. So I know that breeds activity because they want more. And as Wes said, you can bet your life that their partners back home if they start earning this kind of money, their partners are going to be motivating them as well. Whereas if they do loads of stuff that's no good, you can bet your life the partner's going to give them nothing but bloody grief. You know, what are you doing, wasting your time, sort of thing. You can actually imagine it. I can imagine it entirely. And that's why, without being tenantist, because I've been a tenant in the past, please build that list and help them reach out to homeowners. So in those first few days, they actually see some fantastic income coming in, and it'll motivate them to do more. On that note, I'm going to say bye, and I'm really sorry that I never started the record until halfway through. Oh dear. See you all next week, guys. Same time, same place.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Lisa.